weakling! Yora! Useless.
So, we finished up Dante, and now we're doing Lucia, who thankfully is much shorter game than Dante.
Let the suffering begin again.
Home stretch.
That's what she said.
So once again we get the same goddamn opening again. What the fuck?
Sparta! If I haven't done that joke already.
I don't even remember. I didn't watch our other playthroughs.
Can you blame either of us?
It's Devil May Cry 2.
Lucia has visible panty line. America! America!
I think she's French.
I'm talking about the vultures.
Oh, okay.
They look like American eagles at first.
Oh, okay.
You can't fuck with God's America, Lucia!
Blante.
Aquabama Dante.
Who'd be a better character than this Dante? God damn it, I'm up to cropping a picture of a bandana on his head. Oh, shit. Shoot her. Oh. I know he doesn't, but...
She's just like, you know, you could have ended this game a lot quicker.
You called?
Is he Lurch?
He's about as exciting as Lurch.
Don't you dare insult Lurch like that.
Well, I know Lurch is the epitome of charisma.
I thought he was the epitome of John Tesh. And, yeah, folks, this again.
Yeah, we've already watched...
This again.
We've
Enjoy
watched
the continent of Africa cut in two.
So, her mission 1. Here we go. Her combat's even worse than Dante.
What the hell was the point of that cutscene? That didn't even do anything. That did nothing to establish anything.
Here I'm trying her combos out, and those are her combos. She does the one thing I hate with a lot of characters. One button tap does 2 strikes. And
oh, like, it's an automatic 2-hit combo thing?
Yeah.
Boo.
And it throws off my combo, because after I see the first strike, I want to push a direction to initiate the next combo.
Hey, those shuriken throws reminded me of Shinobi. And then I cry inside. Because I could be playing Shinobi.
So the only move that she really has over Dante, honestly, is the fact that one of her sweeps can knock an enemy down. But she has no real combo that hits multiple enemies.
Oh, it's so very, very bland.
She's even blander than Dante.
Boredom may cry.
Oh, dude, you have no idea how glad I am to finally finish this all off.
The devil's not crying, he's just bored to tears. I would say this is comparable to Golf, the video game, but Golf video games actually exist.
There's been, like, one good golf game. That was Outlaws Golf.
Strippers and dominatrices.
Yes.
I could never get the part where you beat up your caddy. I could never get past, like, 3 or 4 hits.
I don't even remember beating up the caddy.
It did something with, like, improving your chances for scoring a hole in one or something.
Wow.
That's what she said.
Dear God, I thought I edited this better. This is,
What the fuck, Rando?
I apologize for
seriously. It's like you're trying to spend more time playing Devil May Cry 2.
I really thought I edited this better. You have my apologies. Just bear with it. Just bear with it.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
And action! For an action game, there's not a whole lot of it going on.
And action. Action. Redoing jokes from previous recordings.
Why not? This thing's just reusing levels without any variation whatsoever.
But look, the gameplay is so much different.
I'm so glad they got rid of that fucking thing in DMC, is using your red orbs to unlock doors that you need to unlock for progression's sake. And by the way, that's why I was running around so much, is you need orbs to unlock that door. And I had to make sure I collected them all. Good God.
No, we're not Mantis.
They wish they were Mantis. God, her combo's even worse than Don.
At least Mantis could impale you with his nose.
Yeah, not unlike a mosquito. Which is, I think, what we called him for, like, fucking ever.
I thought he was the Mosquito Man. It wasn't until, 7 hours of gameplay in that we found out his name was Mantis.
Yep.
Big Shot the Warwolf.
I am still so very disappointed we didn't learn that sooner.
God damn that game.
And I would like to point out that Dante's guns were a bit overpowered. You know that you can kill everything quicker with a gun than you can with a sword. Her kunai shuriken things are fucking even more overpowered than his gun.
Yes, because throwing pieces of metal rather than launching them out of a mechanism designed for throwing them
and not
is
to mention,
more powerful.
And not to mention, Dante's guns are specifically made by him, and they shoot, like, with extra force because of his demonic energy. So he actually shoots even harder than a normal gun. And yeah,
That's what she said! Woo!
I can just picture Fry's face with that. But look at her combos. They're boring. I mean, they're worse than Dante's.
God, just when I thought this game couldn't get any more dull and repetitive.
By the way, I would like to point out that her little front flip kick thing there, that I'm sure I'll do here in a second again, that right there, that's her stinger. That's her move that launches her forward. It's got the distance of a fucking falling rock off my table.
You keep rocks on your table?
No, it's whatever. Don't judge me! But I'm saying it has no distance.
Is that like something to do with Aquabaman culture down there? Down there in Aquabama where you're from?
Yeah, that's where I'm from, alright. Aquabama. The city of Hotlanta.
Hotlantis.
I was gonna go Hotlanta, but I'm like, it's Hotlantis.
Hotlantis. Hotlantis, Aquabama.
Yep.
Keeping your table rocks of freedom free.
On the tables built of justice.
And liberty. Eating Belgian waffles of liberty.
Belgian waffles of liberty, I like that.
Okay, so I love Belgian waffles.
That's because fucking Belgian waffles are awesome.
The only thing Belgium did right
was make a fucking batter pancake.
Belgian waffle was like just apologizing for Jean-Claude Van Damme in advance. Someday we're gonna create the worst martial arts star next to Steven Seagal.
Who's worse, Van Damme or Seagal?
Oh God, are you asking me would I like to be punched in the left nut or kicked in the right?
Who's worse? I'm calling it right now. Who's worse?
Seagal.
Agreed.
Seagal. At least Van Damme can, You know what? No, not that Van Damme can do anything that's redeemable. Just Seagal is that irredeemable.
But he knows some Tai Chi.
You know, like, when I read John Leguizamo's autobiography, when he shot Executive Decision, he said he was hanging out with Kurt Russell and the other stars of that movie. that Steven Seagal walked up onto the set and he was like, I just want everybody to know that I'm the star of this movie. And if you have a problem with me being the star of this movie, this is what's gonna happen to you. And then he runs past Kurt Russell and elbows John Leguizamo in the face.
Oh, what a douchebag.
Like, immediately picks the smallest, skinniest guy he can attack.
Let's say Leguizamo's like 5 foot nothing.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that the stinger knocks enemies away. It's my move to get closer to them. Why are you sending them further away from me?
Makes me think of a really good game. You remember in X-Men Legends 2 when you played Colossus and his knockback was so badass that you could kill people by hitting them against the wall?
Yes.
Colossus is awesome.
He's in the new X-Men movie.
I've heard. I'm not watching it.
It's a sequel to First Class, so no.
Yeah, it's Days of the Future Past.
Which is a dumb name, but...
It was a great storyline, but I don't like X-Men movies.
They haven't made a great one yet. The best one's mediocre at best.
X-Men 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, X-Men 1 was boring. X-Men 2 was okay. X-Men 3 was garbage. X-Men First Class, holy shit.
I didn't see X-Men First Class, but I saw Wolverine Origins, and I went, oh my god, what have they done with the character I learned to read with?
The only good part, well, I shouldn't say good part, the only mildly entertaining part of First Class was Wolverine's cameo in it.
Yeah, I heard about that. Like, they just go in to, like, recruit him, and he's like, fuck off, or something like that.
Yeah, they literally go in like, hi, we're Professor X, and he's like, fuck off. And then he goes back to drinking and smoking. That's
the only Wolverine-esque thing that Hugh Jackman's ever done. You know, when I first saw, like, the trailer of Wolverine, you know, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, like, doing his, like, screaming and running at the camera, I just went, you know, his, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna claw you, scratch, claw, rawr, I'm a Wolverine.
So, folks, if you haven't told, this game is boring as shit.
Doing gay Wolverine impressions is funner than that. We just forgot to make fun of the fact that you were fighting Tarman from Return of the Living Dead.
Hey, don't you bring that character into this.
No, yeah, I forgot Tarman has charisma.
Tarman with young brains.
Young brains. Oh god, what a scummy zombie. Back when zombies were good. Before the hipsters ruined them.
Yep. When you could literally take on an entire horde by yourself in it with a shotgun. It doesn't...
Back when death was still an affliction and not an energy drink.
Depending on the origin, I don't mind zombies being fast, but if they're just your typical, like, resurrected dead people...
Yeah, give me some explanation to why they're fast. I can agree with that.
Like, if it's, like, okay, look at, like, The Last of Us, the newest zombie game that I know of. They don't necessarily, like, resurrect from death. They become infected by a spore.
So they're 28 days later zombies.
More or less, yes. And as the infection goes further into its process, you can't even see. You become more, sonar-based.
Ooh, I always wanted there to be a Blind Dead video game, because you know how much I love the Blind Dead.
Well, in, The Last of Us, if after, I think they say, like, 4 months of infection, you turn into what they call a clicker, who cannot see, and he locates by, sonar.
By clicking his teeth?
Yeah.
Something like, yeah.
And
that's actually based on real technology, too.
So, if you hear the clicking sound, you can walk in front of them as long as you're quiet, but the moment you make any reasonable sound, they fucking flip their shit. And they are, like, one of their more deadly zombies.
And much like Daredevil, you know, being blind means that physics no longer applies to them.
Oh, it does. They can't run through shit.
I like how the hand looked like he was snapping his fingers in frustration. Darn, almost gotcha.
My favorite shot is, like, after you complete the mission or whatever, and if you're by the door, it looks like the hand's reaching out for you, and just as it does, it explodes. It's like, oh god,
no, not attacking the square, the orbs thing.
Dude, this game has an obsession with round objects. I'm just saying. I need to go back and look who directed this game and punch them in the balls. Because apparently they had an obsession with round objects.
Balls.
Yes. And I would like to point out her Devil Trigger is like extremely overpowered because if you put the ice elemental on, it actually stuns enemies every time you hit them, so they literally can't do shit to you while you hit them.
Come on, Goatling, do the drop kick!
It's, I thought the Blood Goats do the drop kick.
Oh god,
Or the
who
Abyss
cares
Goats.
at this point? One of them does a drop kick. I just want the Goat Man to drop kick your ass.
Well, by the time we get to the end, he will. I go against the Abyss Goats and stuff again, and they start drop kicking my ass. Pretty effectively, too, I'd like to point out. And I would like to, okay, you saw she turned into the Devil Trigger, right?
Yeah.
No explanation whatsoever so far for why she's supposed to be like a human who can turn into the Devil Trigger. It's like, we get it.
A Devil Trigger who looks like she's wearing a beret over one eye. What the fuck is that?
It's because of her hair. Yeah,
it's very Veronica Lake. I get it. It's sexy. Thanks.
But it's like there's no explanation as to why she has a Devil Trigger. And they don't tell you until fucking way later in her story, like an hour and a half in. It's like, by the way, did you know you're part devil?
just thundercrack the shit out of you.
Yeah, and I'm like, you mean the fact that she's turned into a Devil Trigger throughout the entire game isn't an inclination that she's part devil at least? But no. So, I would like to point out, her storyline is fucking ass backwards.
Sounds like the story of this game.
Yep.
Yep. I miss Keith Snyder. Keith Snyder was a much better protagonist than either character in this game.
And that is a sad, sad day. I'm a detective.
And I have gone to a casino in the city to work as a bodyguard. Well, if you're a detective, why are you working as a bodyguard?
Which I think we went over that. He fell on hard times, and his superiors no longer have the faith in him. So they told him it's a special assignment, and he believed them.
Because he's Keith and he's dumb. And you know what?
I love him for it.
I prefer talking about Keith than Lucia.
She is the most forced female protagonist in any of the Devil May Cry games. Because they force you to play.
Where's Anita Sarkeesian when you need her?
No, screw that bitch. I'm gonna go on behalf of men. Why do men have to have a female that they're after? Why can't we just be doing it because we love kicking people's asses? Huh? Men can be violent, you know, without reason.
Yeah. Who said? We need a video game that's about that's about beer. You are fighting monsters because they are getting in the way of your beer.
It's like, you know, I mean, so goddamn, fuck those darts. But yeah, why can't men have a game to be violent just because we like to be violent? We don't always have to be chasing a woman. I find that sexist. Instead, you know. I don't know. I find it to be deplorable how men are depicted in video games.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a Kickstarter campaign and raise a whole bunch of money to research an opinion I already have. That sounds very fair and balanced.
I would like to point out that the darts are your next...
that has nothing to do with scientific skepticism or research. Just...
Hey, you can base it on scientific research that was based on a biased opinion anyway.
Yay! There we go!
I'd like to point out that you got a new ranged weapon, the darts, right? And you throw 3 of them at a time, and they go in an arch, which sounds awesome. But they do so much little damage that the fucking kunai knives are still way fucking better. And same with all of her weapons. Her starter
kunai
weapons.
Knives, what a racist weapon.
So, all of her weapons, her
God
starter...
damn this camera! Fuck.
Yeah.
Ugh. Neck was broken in between cuts there.
But all of her weapons, her starter weapons, are her best weapons. Period. And I
That
find
one actually looks more like a testicle.
it's got a little smiley face on it and everything.
What, yours doesn't?
No, is there something wrong with me? Dude, I don't remember what I was looking at, but...
My God, the staircase in Final Fantasy VII was shorter than this.
But I was looking at a
Jumping up a spiral staircase, the video game.
No, dude, Spiral Staircase is kick-ass. This game doesn't do anything. More round objects
Oh
to
God,
beat up.
we're gonna play Clock Tower 3 now?
No.
God damn it!
We gotta hit more round objects with horribly, horribly fucking crappy mid-air combat. And I learned in her campaign, you can turn the auto lock off if you hold down a button. And only while you're holding down that button is the auto lock disabled.
That makes no sense. You would think you hold a button to auto lock.
Yes.
She has a devil form that makes Dante's devil form look like War's devil form.
I would like to point out that that little green thing I'm standing on, you can't just walk onto it.
She looks like she's dancing to some pop music when she does that.
What, those little green
Put your hands up for Detroit!
Tattoos!
Dog boners!
But I'd like to point out, you can't just walk onto those little green platforms that give you devil energy. You have to jump on them. And when it's in the middle of an area that if you fall off, you go back down, that is bullshit.
More obsession with orbs.
Well, orbs have always been the currency for the first couple Devil May Cries. Or first few, actually.
Well, if they're gonna, like, revamp this video game, they should just go the whole nine and name them Devil Balls.
I think they didn't do that for a reason. They,
What?
I like to put, okay.
If Suda51 made a Devil May Cry game, he would.
He would, but that's because that shit would be awesome.
Suda51, the world's oldest 12-year-old.
And guess what? His games are awesome.
Yeah, until you actually, like, play them.
I like most of the Suda51. Like, I liked Shadows of the Damned. I liked the Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah, but, like, is Lollipop Chainsaw, like, really, like, that great of a game? Or is it just funny because it's it's because it's so sophomoric and immature?
Well, that's the whole point. I mean, there've never been, like, these technically masterful games. They've always just been dumb fun, and I like that. Just like, that's one reason I love Platinum, is their games aren't technical marvels, but they're fucking fun as shit. Look at this, the boss is just stun locked.
He's like, just get it over with so I can appear in a Darksiders game. Fuck.
God damn it, eventually I will remember to turn achievement notifications off.
But Rando, 2 heads are better than 1.
I would like to point out that...
It is a pun, because that character has 2 heads.
Now, when I first saw that dagger thing right there, I was thinking, wow, she got a new weapon pretty early on, and it came from a boss, which is, you know, Devil May Cry tradition. No, it's just a fucking usable item on a certain object. It's not a weapon.
And keep in mind, I just have to, like, nerd rage this for a second. Double header, that was the worst X-Men ever. He has the power of, he has 2 heads. Now, admittedly, he was in an alternate continuity, but...
Do his heads at least argue with each other?
Yes.
That's... okay.
Well, that's like my one problem with the Earth X, Universe X,
It's just okay.
Storyline. Well, it's based in like a world where something happens where everybody gets mutant power. So you have an entire world of superpowered people.
But some of the superpowers aren't so super.
Well, and it's like you would think that would make like the X-Men the main characters because
they're X-Men. And they're
because it goes from humanity to mutanity.
Right.
But the X-Men are like barely fucking mentioned at all.
So I would like to point out we dropped down here, the very first area. The same area where Dante meets her in his first mission, which is the same area she was in for her first mission. And we wind up back at square fucking one.
Bland. Oh, I'll bland you!
Don't bland, I'll bland you. I would like to point out
Thank God I blanded you.
I would like to point out this is also one of Dante's worst outfits.
Worst outfits? It looks just like the first lame outfit. Do like the red trench though.
Well, what I mean is like his black vest thing that comes up to like the 50s collar.
How very Gangrel.
And,
he's like, am I Vincent from Final Fantasy VII or not?
And I know the only reason Dante has a coat is because the original creator, whose name escapes me, he didn't make this one, but he made the first one. He wanted an object to flow with his movements and stuff like that, so he gave him a long coat.
Also, The Matrix had just come out and it was really trendy.
Oh, I guess. I totally forgot about The Matrix and when it came out. I try not to remember it existed. Because you know what? If you like The Matrix, you're a bad friend.
The Matrix, along with The Sixth Sense, are the reason I didn't watch a Hollywood movie for like 10 years. I was like, so this is the best Hollywood has to offer. These are the best movies that came out in 1999. Goodbye!
I know, it's like, I kept seeing all this shit for like The Sixth Sense, like, oh, it's so scary, it's so scary. I watched it, I'm like, there's a couple of moments, I'm like, oh, okay, that was kind of, jumpy. But where's the real horror at? Like,
and then everybody talks about like what a genius ending it was that, and they're like, oh yeah, and it makes so much sense because they gave so many clues during the movie. No, they didn't! Watch it! They did not give any clues.
There was only subtle hints like, everybody who's involved with the dead or whatever wear red. That happened once or twice in the movie at most.
If the ghosts don't want to hurt the kid, why do they hurt him on several occasions?
Yeah! Like, he's got scratches and shit all over him.
He has a fucking seizure because one of them.
But no, they mean him no harm. Just listen to them. Fuck that!
Wow, it turns out Bruce Willis was really a ghost. The world's longest, most poorly written Twilight Zone episode ever. Rod Serling would not have approved that to be an episode on the show, even if they were, desperate for material.
More of these generic enemies that this game only has 5 enemy types, I think, or 4. Something like Countdown Vampire has more enemy types than this fucking game does, I swear to God.
Oh my God.
Except the bosses. This game has, 4 or 5 bosses, whereas Countdown had, 3?
Mantis.
Well, Mantis became a normal enemy.
And so did Big Shot.
Yes, exactly.
They introduced every boss in that, or every new monster in that game is its own boss. You're like, oh shit, a boss fight.
And then it turns out you kill it in 3 shotgun shots.
Yeah. and then you just fight them for the rest of the game.
Yeah. I mean, this game has 5 or 6 bosses, I think, and they recycle them for both characters, except for their final bosses. And it's got the goats, and I don't care, the Abyss goats, the goatlings, and the blood goat all look the fucking same. You have the skeletons and clad, the metal shit, I don't know what the fuck to call it. Then you got the birds, and then you got the golems.
Didn't Dante do this already?
Yes. They reuse so many missions in the exact same thing and just swap character models. It's fucking lazy. And I know they do that in DMC 3 if you play as Virgil, but Virgil
sucks anyway.
He's cool in DMC 3, but he controls so much differently than Dante, and at least it feels different. The only way, you can switch to a certain weapon that makes him control exactly like Dante, but his other weapons are completely fucking different, and he's harder to play with.
The only way I would like Virgil is if he was the manservant of a really evil rich guy. And then a Scotsman has to make a man out of him.
But
spinning around, helps propel those shurikens somehow.
But if you do it, she throws them faster than normal, and so it makes them way overpowered.
I like how the animation isn't even slightly, that very heavily altered from Dante's gun shooting animation.
Exactly. She just puts her arms down and then back up instead of just holding them out and, shooting.
She's like Gambit's card throw in Wolverine Origins. I can lay them in the palm of my hand and cause them to fire forward individually somehow.
Which, yeah. Because I'm Gambit, and I throw cards. Well, not throw them so much as project them.
The fuck? And that guy was too big of a bitch to play Gambit. Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's too much of a bitch to play Wolverine. He's a fucking girly man. Don't tell me how much fucking muscle he put on for those movies that makes him a manly man. You know what? Six-pack abs do not exist on straight men. They don't.
Yes, if you have a six-pack, you are guaranteed shit.
You have to suck cock to get those muscles in correct shape. And you know who I think the best guy to play Wolverine is? And everybody thinks I'm insane, but I'm right. John Grease from Napoleon Dynamite.
Really?
Yeah, go back and watch Monster Squad and he plays the Wolfman. He's a scary-ass motherfucking Wolfman. You know he could whoop somebody's ass.
Okay, right here, I'd like to point out that I'm trying to go up, and it won't let me, but I need to go up to get the blue orb.
Oh, that's just the male-dominated video game industry's glass ceiling.
You're not gonna let her live that down.
No! Should I?
No, you shouldn't. But I love how you're just relating everything to the male-dominated gaming industry.
The evil male penis of theft.
And I would like to put out, look at this shit.
And oppression.
I am
white male, you are my oppressor. Quote Gypsy from MST.
I'd like to point out, look how I'm trying to hit this platform and it won't let me. And then you'll see how I hit it, and I haven't changed anything.
I can't believe you're still trying.
I want that fucking blue orb.
I want it!
It's the only, it's the way to get more health, and her combo sucks, so she ends up taking a little bit more damage than Dante.
Rolling up the hill.
Rolling up the hill. Rolling.
Yeah, we did that one already. God damn it.
Shit, I did, didn't I?
This game has us looping ourselves.
Well, this game loops everything else. I mean, this setup, and even the blue orb placement, is the exact same as Dante. Enemy types and placement, same type as Dante. The only time she has any difference is in the first two missions are slightly different than Dante's, and then her final mission's different than Dante. Everything else, fucking same.
So, how about that Mind Jack? What a quality program name that looks like, huh?
From fucking Square. And they wonder why they were in such a financial crisis last year. Final Fantasy XIV and Mind Jack. Final Fantasy XIV wouldn't even fit to be called a beta. Look at this. I can't fucking go. It's And then I think I hit it in the next couple of tries, and the game just decided to let me have it, I guess. Like, there is no difference in then how I hit this and then how I had been trying. There, I hit it. But did I do anything differently? No. The game just decided to say, we're done fucking with him. He can have it. Fuck you, video game. Fuck you.
So did Bernie Stoller take over, as president and CEO of operations of Square or something?
I don't know.
You don't know who Bernie Stoller is? He's extremely important to video game history.
I don't know if he took over for Square or not.
No. He used to be the president of Sega of America and is the reason the Sega Saturn failed. Because he's an idiot! Americans don't want 2D games. They only want 3D games. Well, the Saturn's really good at 2D graphics. I don't care. That's not what America wants.
So the Saturn had a couple...
Americans don't want RPGs. You keep those RPGs in Japan.
Given the Saturn has one of the best RPGs of all fucking time.
It has, and it also has several very good RPGs under its belt.
And I know the Saturn has my favorite version of Ballerina Toshinden.
Remix?
Yep, with the voice acting and the cutscenes.
Darn good game. Love that game.
All hail Rando.
Rongo was pretty badass.
Given, who's the fucking pedophile dude with claws?
Fofai!
Fofai was my favorite character.
Oh yes, your blood is very young and virile.
Mystic Sphere! Mystic Sphere!
He's just like, David Lopan got a video game.
Lopan, oh my god.
Indeed.
I would like to see a new Ballerina Toshinden game. There was 3 on the PS1 and then it just fucked off.
Yeah, and I think Battle Arena Toshinden like they had let's let JFK name this game. And the first word that came out of his mouth was That one on the Saturn was just so bad, I think that killed the entire
I didn't know there was 2 on the Saturn.
Yeah. Ultimate Revenge Attack is what stands
Are you fucking kidding me?
Ultimate Revenge Attack. It was like they wanted to out extra name Capcom's Street Fighter series.
Dude, nothing's worse than Street Fighter 2 Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper HD Remix. Or whatever the fuck the new one, like the last 2D one on the
Super
Xbox.
Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix.
There you go. That is too fucking long for a fighter.
Great game, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the later Street Fighter games are awesome, but dear God.
Well, that was just Street Fighter 2 in HD.
It was Street Fighter 2 Turbo with, like, Fei Long and all the others added in.
Yes, I know. Street Fighter 2. We don't need to add all the extra fucking names to it. We all know what Street Fighter 2 was.
That's true.
Anyway, here we are with, Tower with extra tentacles from House of the Dead 2.
Jokat Golem.
Gesundheit.
Dude, I would have loved to fight Tower rather than this douchebag.
He at least had a cool scream. Made it satisfying when you killed him.
Yeah. My favorite one is when you killed him when he's in the ground, or when he's up in the air, then he goes back in the ground and pops back up and then does his death roll.
To die! That was like our favorite thing ever in House of the Dead 2, was like killing them in extremely awkward positions so they would have to get back up to do their death animations. How many times did we shoot Hierophant when he was still in the air?
Oh, so satisfying. Goldman, no.
I am.
Dude, House of the Dead 3, you ever play it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still prefer House of the Dead 2.
Me too!
However,
I mean, House of the Dead 3 was still cheesy as fuck, but...
it was great.
But not as cheesy, not as blatantly, wonderfully awful.
And House of the Dead Overkill is fucking fantastic.
Never played it, unfortunately. Is that the one on the Wii?
Yes, and they ported it to the 360 and the PS3 and maybe PC. I don't know.
Oh, awesome!
But dude, it's fucking awesome. There's like a black dude who might as well be Samuel L. Jackson.
Motherfucking zombies!
Exactly. And my favorite part of that game is at the very end. There's the main villain's like a dude who's obsessed with his mom, and G is the main character in it, along with the black guy. And
Do we get to suffer like G did?
yes, you do. So he tells the black dude, he's at the very end, he's like, you know, for a guy who more than likely fucked his mother, you never once called him a motherfucker.
That's a good line.
Dude, I laughed my ass off when I heard that. I'm like,
great.
For a dude who's been dropping motherfucker, like literally every sentence I think just about has motherfucker in it. Like
Barrett. He's Barrett from FF7.
So literally, like every time he gets a new speech dialogue, it's always got to contain at least one motherfucker in it, and he never calls that dude a motherfucker.
It was considered the game's greatest failing.
I just think it's awesome that a Wii game has the most MF bombs dropped in any video game ever.
It's so weird to me that, like, Nintendo, like, with the GameCube, they started dropping, like, you know, the Nintendo is, you know, family friendly, you know, like, started getting, you know, some darker, some more violent games, the censorship started going away. Then the Wii comes out and they're like, censor it! Censor it! Censor it!
And then Mad World and Overkill come out.
And they're like, meh.
Kids will love it. The kids will love it.
Motherfuckers for the children, everybody. Motherfuckers for the children.
If Samuel L. Jackson was allowed to be Samuel L. Jackson in a Disney movie, he would be a Nintendo game. With Samuel L.
Hey,
Jackson.
I have a great idea for the next Kingdom Hearts game. What the hell is the main character's name from Kingdom Hearts? I've never actually played it.
Sora.
Sora, voiced by Samuel L. Jackson.